Barry measured the kitchen table to be 6 feet long. How many inches is this? How do we convert our measurements using what we've learned so far in class? Now there are 2 steps. Step 1, are we multiplying or dividing? All converting is either multiplying or dividing. So how do we remember? Do we have a previous video? Yes, we do. Do we have notes? Yes, we do. Don't we have a rhyme? Yes, we do. These are the notes from our previous video where we were discussing how to remember which way to convert. Where we had when we went from a bigger measurement to a smaller measurement, we multiplied. And when we went from a smaller measurement to a bigger measurement, we divided. There are several different things that you can do when you have a conversion problem in front of you. You can go back to your notes, because I gave you a pre-printed one of these for you to fill out, so you can reference this. You can also draw your own on the problem or on a sheet of paper for you to remember if you cannot find your notes. Also remember that my notes are always available to you as a reference as well. Another thing that you guys can do is remember the rhyme. Horse to fly, well, of course you multiply. Horse being the larger measurement to a smaller measurement. Fly to horse, divide, of course. That is the smaller measurement to a larger measurement. Well, then you're going to be dividing that measurement, of course. So let's do this. Let's rewrite what we are converting just by itself. Instead of looking at the whole word problem, we know we are taking a table that is 6 feet long and trying to figure out what that is in inches. What I'm going to go ahead and do is rewrite the picture so we can take a look and discuss what that looks like. Now here we go. We have our circular picture to determine, are we going from smaller to bigger or bigger to smaller? This is the question that we go through first. This is step 1. Is feet smaller than inches, or are inches smaller, or feet smaller, are feet smaller than inches, or are feet bigger than inches? Are we going from a bigger measurement to a smaller measurement, or a smaller measurement to a bigger measurement? Well, feet are bigger than inches, so we're going this way on our figure here, in our picture. So we know that when we're going this way, we're going to be multiplying. So we're going to take 6 and we're going to be multiplying here. Our next step is, what are we multiplying or dividing by? That's where our star reference page comes in. If you don't remember, you can always use the reference that I gave you guys for your binders. Now, most of the time now, we have gone through these measurements so many times that you guys have already remembered them. But if you don't, in your binder, you should have a copy. This is my binder, and the first thing you should have in a page protector, like I gave everybody, should be a copy of the star reference material. And this is a length measurement, customary, and we should see right here that there is 1 foot and 12 inches in every 1 foot. So that tells me, what are we multiplying by? Well, if there are 12 inches in a foot, then I'm multiplying this 16 times 12. Now 16 times 12, that's a math fact that we should know. 16 times 12, in my head, I know, and I'm able to do it very quickly because I've been reviewing my math facts. That is 72. So I can put that in my block right there, and I can go back to the question and make the answer that the table in the question is 72 inches. Let's do another one. A large bag of frozen peas weighs 32 ounces. How many pounds is this? Now, are we multiplying or dividing? Well, I can draw a picture, I can recite a rhyme, or I can check my notes. Well, I really like drawing out this picture here, so I'm going to go ahead and draw this out. It's really easy to write in the corner of any test that I take, and so with the measurement test coming up in a couple of weeks, I'm going to go ahead and do this and get as much practice in as I can do. So I'm going to take a look. Is ounces bigger or smaller than pounds? Well, ounces are smaller than pounds. We were discussing about ounces being about the weight of paper clips, and pounds being about the amount of textbooks or a full bottle of soda. So bigger, we're not going to be going from bigger to smaller, we're going smaller to bigger. So in this case, we're going to be taking 32 and dividing it. But what are we dividing it by? Well, I think customary is a little bit, weight and mass is a little bit harder to remember, so I'm going to use my star chart. And I have it here, and it says there are 16 ounces in a pound, so I'm going to be dividing by 16. Alright, dividing by 16 is kind of hard, so I'm going to do either repeated addition in the opposite or inverse and figure out how many times 16 goes into it, or I may try subtracting 16 from 32 to see how many 16s I can get out of this. So let's see. I'm going to say I'm going to take one 16 out, and I'm going to have to borrow. And 12 minus 6, that's 6. It's 1. Take another 16 out. Alright, so I took one 16, and then I took another 16. So I got two 16s out of it. So 32 divided by 16 gave me 2. So 32 ounces is the same thing as 2 pounds. So that bag of peas weighed 2 pounds. Now, I want you guys to remember this process, and if you need to, come back to this video anytime you have some work in the future at home, or remember that this is the way I'm going to work with you in the classroom. Step 1, are you going from bigger to smaller, smaller to bigger, so you can remember, are you multiplying or dividing? Step 2, what are you multiplying or dividing by? And you may continue. I gave you some practice problems to help you out with this. Bring those in tomorrow so you can show me your notes and get a full 100 credit.